Hi, my name's Ben Pellett. I'm the fire chief at Scotch Creek-Lee Creek Fire Department, standing here somewhat ironically in front of what used to be the Scotch Creek-Lee Creek Fire Hall and the Scotch Creek Community Hall. Just want to talk to you a little bit about some of the hazards that are left out here. Right now the primary danger from wildfire has passed, but all the downstream hazards are still present. So obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of buildings in the area that look like this. There's a lot of twisted metal, pieces moving around, lots of sharp objects, nails, screws, lots of materials, especially in these older buildings, are not great when they burn. Lots of buildings like this were built with asbestos, so there's still toxic gases off-gassing. There's still materials like asbestos in the air, so it's not a good place to be quite yet, but we're getting you there. Okay, I want to point out a couple other things about the fire intensity and what happened in places like this. You can see how much concrete spalled off here. It's all burnt, popped apart. The fire was incredible that came through here. And one of the things with that, when a fire comes through that hot, it gets really deep in. So I'm surrounded by trees here that are all blackened, burnt. These ones have been assessed by a professional danger tree assessor, and they are calling them safe. But many of the trees in the area have not been assessed yet. Many of the trees in the area have sustained incredible amounts of root damage, incredible amounts of stem damage, and at some point they're going to come down. And all it takes is one bad tree to kill a person. All right. The other thing with the trees when the fire comes around and burns them deep is ash pits. And we'll go show you some of those in a little bit here. But those are also incredibly dangerous for people when you're around these trees. All right, let's talk a little bit about ash pits and danger trees. So I'm up here in Lee Creek right now through an area that got some intense burn, and you can see here the ash pits. So an ash pit is a lot like a sinkhole, but instead of water eating out the soil, it's the fire has eaten out the organic matter, and on top is just a thin soil arch, and it doesn't take much for that to collapse. So if you're walking through areas like this, you can easily have all this soil here collapse underneath you and fall down into the ash pit. Sometimes ash pits are still, that's still pretty warm, they can still be very hot. You can get burnt very badly when you fall into one. If they're very deep, you can also injure yourself. There's been cases of people dying because they've injured themselves and can't get out of the pit. The other thing I'll chat with you about really quickly or point out is some of these danger trees. So you can see that guy right there. See how much of it was burnt away before it came down. You have a lot of these trees where the insides, especially the cedars, where the inside is completely burnt out. It's just a shell left on the outside. And it looks like any other blackened tree out here. But really, there's nothing left of the stem integrity, and that tree is about to come down.